Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I have a chess miniature to share with you from the 2023 World Rapid Team Championship. This was a round 11 game between Nihal Sarin on the white end and Pawel Teclaf. Okay, time controls, 15 minutes with a 10-second increment. 24 move game with a D-pawn based opening. Now, we essentially have a Pillsbury attack in this one. Not in the truest sense. The Pillsbury attack is mostly seen out of a Queen's Gambit declined, so the C-pawn is normally on C4, and this guy is on D5. But pay special attention to the piece play. It's identical to what you see in the Pillsbury attack. The kingside miners, the queen, watch their movements and how they apply pressure to black's kingside. Okay, the early stage, non-confrontational, just getting some pieces out. After D5, we have knight e5. This is really the first move that says Pillsbury attack. A white knight established in black's house, the queen's eyes now opened along this diagonal. Now, judging by the central structure, we can note good, bad bishops. This is the bad guy, this is the good guy. The attempt by black to try and exchange them right now with bishop a6 while the king is still uncastled would fail. Black would end up losing a piece to the following common tactic, queen a4, check. But after the move played in the game castles, this now becomes an idea. We continue bishop d3. In the game, black focuses on the e4 square. He plays bishop b7. Now, if the bishop played to a6, the suggestion here is to duck the exchange. Bishop c2 to the suggestion here is to try and demonstrate that my bishop is essentially better than yours. I'm going to go for this attack. I'm going to try and pinpoint the h7 pawn, and I'm willing to have the bishop cut off my king from castling in the process. Now, if white welcomes this exchange, well, that would definitely ease black's defensive task on the king side, with there no longer being a light square bishop. Okay. In this game, though, bishop b7, queen f3, not allowing the knight to jump in right away. White has 3 pieces on that, and this is a temporary pivot. She has an eye on that h3 square. Knight b d7, and now rook d1. So this is a move that gave me pause. I wondered why maybe not castles instead. There's an idea, or there's some line here where the black queen can actually end up on the d2 square. There's some variation where black can give up a pawn, and the position becomes more about a fight over an opened d-file rather than some attack against one another's king. What am I talking about exactly? Well, if instead of rook d1, white castles here, this is a continuation where black can give up a pawn. And it's weighing this position right here as basically equal. The extra pawn white has in this position is not really felt like an extra. Okay. In this game, it is rook d1. From here, queen c8, supporting bishop a6, but bishop a6 in this one never comes. After queen h3, black plays g6, trying to tame this light square bishop, easing the pressure on h7. Now, interestingly enough, the computer is suggesting to play bishop a6. It's saying be consistent in a way. Why is this move maybe not played? Well, if black plays bishop a6, you have to do this knowing you're going to be down the exchange. What am I talking about? Well, the computer, easy enough for the computer to assess this position right here as equal, but not so much for a human. I mean, there definitely is some value in this light square bishop cutting off the king from castling. Also, black with this sequence has eliminated a key attacker on the king side. Black doesn't have to worry about king safety with the sequence like this. Computer says it's equal. Not so easy for a human to pull this off, though, especially in a rapid time control. So there is no bishop a6 here. I should also note, that if bishop a6 is played and knight takes knight, the problem here for black is that you have no time to recapture on d7. If you take with the queen, you end up losing the bishop, and if you take with the knight, you end up losing your king. Okay, bishop a6 isn't seen. g6, knight f3, knight takes knight, pawn takes knight. In order for black to now try and stay in the game, the computer is pointing out you have to go to the edge with the knight. Even here, it's going to be a tough road ahead. Bishop to g5, welcoming a dark square bishop exchange and then trying to sneak in on the dark squares. This is a very clumsy piece. In the game, it's knight e4. White is now winning with the following continuation. Bishop takes knight, pawn takes, knight g5. And what is black going to now do? There's a mate threat on h7. If black played h5 here, there would almost certainly be an instant reply, g4, prying open the position further, and now you're going to have to eventually deal with the rook, or white is going to be successful getting to the h7 square. This is easily broken down with a little pressure on the h5 pawn. What is tried, though, is the capture. So we have now opposite color bishops, and white is a blink away from planting the bishop on f6, and then a mate in 2 threat. It's completely lost here, but still a nice try in the end. Here by black, he flicks in f5. White takes en passant, has this passed pawn. Rook f7. You can't get to the d file here, I should note. Rook d8 is going to run into f7 check. Bishop's eyes are open to that square, so it's rook f7. And now, no castles here. Queen g3. White wants to launch the h-pawn and have this rook get at the black king. And white is basically going to get there first. So let's see how this plays out. Bishop a6. In comes h4. Rook d7. He continues to push. He's not inviting the queen to the open file. He makes it, or he justifies his h4 move. He ensures he gets in the break with h5. Rook takes rook, king takes rook, pop quiz here. Very important moment. There's only one move that keeps this as a win for white. Can you spot what that move is? Where would you go here? C1 or back home? Feel free to pause the video. Okay, hopefully you didn't go back home. In the game, it's king c1, the only winning move. If you go here, there's queen d3. Not winning for black, but not winning for white either. It says this is a draw. Got this mate threat on e2. Also ideas of a perpetual check. White could defend here with queen g4. But the idea is just hang out on the queen side. Don't allow this diagonal to be relevant. Stay away from a square that the bishop is controlling. The e2 square in particular. From here, bishop d3, white now has his sights set on a different square. He wants to key in on c2, trying something else. Rook d8 again would be hit with f7 check, and then the rook is going to fall. So black tries bishop d3, but again, white is there first. Pawn takes on g6. In the game, queen a4 is played. If you're simply recapturing, queen h3, and you're not stopping the queen from entering. So black just goes forward, threatening a mate in 1. There's only one winning move here for white, and it's the last move of the game. Can you spot what the move is? Feel free to pause the video. Okay, only winning move is f7 check. If you tried pawn takes pawn check, After the king goes to the corner, it is now black who would be winning. There's no follow-up check for white. And how are you stopping mate on c2? b3 would be met with queen a2. Same story. The queen is getting in. Black would be winning. But in this game, it is f7 check, and this forces resignation. It ties in well, just in general, pawns on light, coordinating with the dark square bishop, and now, wherever the king goes, one of these three, the bishop or the queen can get at the king. So for instance, if the game continued, if you go to the corner, white has a pick of 2 mate and 1s. If you go to g7, there would be queen e5 check. Your options here, you take the pawn, queen f6 mate, you go to f8, queen h8 mate. One other continuation, king f8, would be met with first the pivot on d6 check, and then we get back to this position we have already seen, mate, next move. Anyhow, feel free, as usual, to leave any feedback to this video in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe took a thing or two away. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.